Here we go. Welcome to Monday night's Tilton Talk show, sponsored by Image Cleaning. Well, Saturday came and I made my trip on my own as my lads couldn't make it to the game due to other commitments. So I leave home an hour earlier than usual and was one of the first to get into the ground. Sitting on the tarmac at the back of Block 1, beer beside me and a fag in my hand, listening to every click of the turnstiles, watching people arrive, most of them with that same blank, pensive look on their faces. What was the next few hours going to bring? We were playing a team 3 points from the playoffs. I meet the lovely Tracy Hemming and stood chatting. And I found out her husband wasn't going to be at the game, so I sat next to her, and boy, am I glad I had somebody to talk to. Then on the 7 minutes, an ex-Blues player, Duffy, dealt a severe blow to our survival hopes. Head in hand and physically shaking with dread at the prospect of life in League One, I thought part of me was slipping away. Duffy versus the Cop and the Tilton. What an idiot. And what did it do? It immediately introduced the loudest rendition of Keep Right On since Wembley, and from that moment the players knew how much this club means to us. They pulled on the armour, they took out the swords, they went gallantly into battle, sleeves rolled up, passion and pride, playing for each other, the manager, the fans, the club, the shirt, and then up pops Roberts and the roar of the crowd was spine-tingling. Then in the second half, Shea Chips won over for Mags and he netted perfectly, and St Andrews was back to its best. 6 minutes of nail-biting injury time, but we held on to that final whistle. And then when it came, the team almost did a lap of honour. Scenes ensued as the repaired speakers in the Tilton blasted out Mr Blue Sky, and Dancing in the Aisles swiftly followed. As for me, even halfway down the Coventry Road, my face was still soaking wet with tears of joy. The gaffer, the players have experienced St Andrews at its absolute best. Each and every one of us, from the gaffer to the pie sellers to that fantastic support, played their part. Well done, each and every one of you. And not one of those players are scared to play in front of that support. Gary Monk, long may it continue. Thank you all so very much. Well, it is Monday night, and of course it is the Tilton Talk show. So as always, strap yourselves in. Sorry about the technical glitches there, guys, and get ready for the ride. It's going to be a biggie tonight. Here we go.
You're listening to Trevor Francis on the Tilton Talk show.
All right, okay, welcome to the Tilton Talk show. It is Monday night, we're a little bit later than usual. And,
Aaron says he hope you get extra time.
The legend that is Tom Ross will be joining us about 8 o'clock on the phone, so look out for that one. Don't forget, guys, all you've got to do is share this to be in a chance to win the competition next week. And we've got 3 competitions to draw out tonight. Three with 5 fingers up.
Yeah.
Where are you from, Aston? The backdrop. What a wonderful photograph, mate.
Fantastic.
Well done. Made my weekend.
Thanks ever so much.
Do you know what? I couldn't have had a better weekend. Wolves doing Bolton by 4.
Yeah.
That's helped us on goal difference. Yeah.
It has.
Leeds beating Barnsley.
Yeah.
Burton beating Sunderland.
Perfect.
How a result. Just unbelievable.
Every single
and then
one.
I get home and I have a brothers in arms photograph of you and the one and only Checkendoi. How did you pull that one off?
Yeah, so I've got to thank Sean and George Hemphill for that. Friends of mine who I go to Blues Ladies with as well. I know from Blues Ladies and Blues. George is 13, so he likes to stay around for the players afterwards, get a few autographs, and obviously I was talking to Sean and George and a couple of other people as well, Sam Robinson and Mark from Worksop even. Yep. Regular listeners on the show, having a chat with them, and then so all the players start coming out. Checkendoi comes out, and Sean and Mark and Sam were pretty adamant that it's in the best interest of the show that I have my photo with him. It went down quite well on the Facebook page. So yeah,
superb stuff. All right, just a little bit of information to bring you at the front of the show, and again, apologies for the little bit of delay that we had. As you probably remember from last Monday's show, Simon Twigg sadly passed away a week or so ago, and his funeral will be held at Sutton Crematorium at 2:30 on the 2nd of May, and then on to the Minworth Social Club at 3:30. Anyone welcome. If you wear a bit of blue, it would be a nice touch. There you go. So
nice.
Obviously condolences to the family at awful times.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure he was smiling down on that performance on Saturday.
I tell you what, I went an hour early on purpose because I wasn't actually going to meet Dennis originally and have a swift one with him and then just make my way in. But there was the George was absolutely packed, couldn't find him anywhere, so I decided, right, the gates had just opened, and I go in, no queues, get some beer from the what's the bar at the back there called?
Bar 8, is it?
Bar 8.
Yeah.
And,
under the Tilton, yeah.
Yeah, so I went outside, sat down in the cloud.
Yeah.
and I was there a good hour.
Yeah.
And literally, as I say, like you could hear the turnstiles click, and all of a sudden they get faster and faster, and there's more people are making the way in. And I was face watching a lot of people, and like there was a lot of blank looks on people's faces on Saturday.
Yeah.
A lot of anticipation of what could unfold in front of us, but it didn't. And you know, how glad are we?
We went through the ringer though. You know, you talk about Blues picking the hard way to do it. You know, we never do things easy. You know, we go 1-0 down and
stupid goal to give away.
It's a disappointing one. Yeah, you give the ball away in the middle and you know they hit you pretty quickly. They get the ball out quickly to Duffy, and I think Stockdale will be disappointed as well. The fact that it's crept in the corner. But yeah, I mean, from that moment on, really, I don't know whether it was. I felt like the atmosphere was very good and was up there before Duffy give it both barrels to the Cop and the Tilton. Do you know what I mean? But that from a no. I mean, I'm not going to beat around the bush. He's a nobody. Yeah. Who is he? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Of all the Blues players we've had in our career, in our history, you know, people that have let us down. We've had players that have left that have let us down. We've had players that have, you know, played awfully and fans have given a hell of a lot of stick to in the past, and they've left and either come back to haunt us or we've got the better of them. Yeah. Mark Duffy's nothing. He's an absolute nothing to Blues whatsoever. And so for him to react like that, it was really bizarre. And actually, like I said, I thought the atmosphere was good anyway, but I think that might just have ratcheted the levels up a couple of notches. And honestly, we didn't look back. You know, I think back to the game. I haven't been able to watch the highlights. Well, I've seen the goals back. Obviously,
I saw the 30 seconds.
Obviously, I was there. At the time, but you look back at it, I can't think of another save apart from the one where he tipped it over the bar, which was a pretty comfortable save at 1-0 to Sheffield United. Yeah. I can't think of another save Stockdale's up to make.
No. Welcome Ian Dawson watching in New York City. Well done to you. And Richard Haler watching from Miami, way down there, the bottom end of Florida. I'm sure your weather's a lot better than ours. Right, it was just one of those games, though, wasn't it? You look at the whole performance from start to finish. Yeah. Even the heads didn't go down. That is all we demand. That is it. That is all. If we'd have lost that game, right, we'd have lost it gallantly. Yeah.
We weren't going down without a fight. You know, that was pretty clear. But you know, I spoke to a pal of mine, Tom, who lives in London, who's a Blues fan. I used to go to Blues with all the time. And we were talking about this. Apart from Bristol City, I think Bristol City first home game of the season, I think it probably was. Yeah. That's the last time we've come from behind to win. You know, we are not a side.
I think the stats are 85% of teams in the Championship don't reverse a goal deficit.
Well, so it looks like it's quite common in the league in general, but certainly for Blues over the last 3 or 4 years, we have always been a side where you felt the first goal is very important in games. It's very, very rare that we come back from 1-0 down to pick up 3 points. And you know, for all the credit you give the players and the management staff for the quality and the endeavour that they've put out on the pitch, actually that sums it up. You're turning round a playoff chasing team have gone 1-0 up against you, and you've managed to turn it round and pick up 3 points against them. That's a massive boost.
And of course, with everything else going our way as well, you know, we're 5 points clear now. 2 games to go. 6 points in
3 for Barnsley, but 2 for everyone
Barnsley
else.
Playing
tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, of course, at Nottingham Forest, due to their waterlogged pitch. Yeah. Got to say hello to Mike Pegg, Stoke Blue. Anybody notice Ndoye making 5 flowing passes on Saturday? 4 of them went to Blues players. Yeah. Monk truly does work miracles.
4 out of 5 went bad.
This is why Chris Pugh waited at the back of the main stand for Ndoye to come out and have his photograph taken with him.
But actually, you know, I'm not changing my view on him as a footballer, but actually, when he come on, and you know that little where he took it away from a player, and then he went down the left wing and he pushed it past him and went down the left wing. I've never heard a noise like that in ages.
No.
Like the guy is so bizarrely crazy love for the guy. But yeah, I mean, you know, so yeah,
I looked at
we've
Tracy,
picked
she
up
looked
3
at me,
points, which
and,
is
when the beast came on, I says, I hope this works. I do hope this works. Kyle
but it did against Bolton.
Yes, it did.
Do you know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
that was the same approach that actually it's worked against Bolton. Let's make it work now.
Yeah, Kyle Colclough, the keep right on, was the loudest I've experienced ever. Insanely loud.
It was the best it's been for a long time.
Emma Jane Noonan, great game on Saturday. Even better when Gardner gave his match shirt to my little girl. What a wonderful gesture.
I saw that. Who was that? Sorry.
That is Emma Joanne Noonan.
I think she was. I was in the Gilmerick Lower. I was
Right.
and I think I saw Emma ask Craig before the game if it would be okay to give her daughter.
Because somebody was holding up a sign
shirt.
in front of us saying whoever was playing at number 28.
Morrison. 28. Yeah.
Morrison, can I have your shirt after the game? But
Right,
I don't know whether that one happened or not.
Yeah.
Dennis Bohemia, welcome to you. He's watching from his lounge. And he wants to know what time your penalty shootout is on Sunday. Of course, it's the ladies' game Sunday versus
Arsenal.
Yeah. At Solihull Moors, 2 o'clock kickoff. And after the game, the big event of the season, apart from the photo shoot,
second biggest event of the season. Yeah.
No, the first biggest event must have been your night at
yeah. Okay, yeah, the training ground.
So playing Arsenal Sunday, beg your pardon. And then straight after the game, it's you versus Katrinenberger.
It is,
and then Anne versus you.
Yes,
and
I believe so.
Mark's already warned you.
He has warned me. Yeah.
Did you see the penalty shootout on St Andrews on Saturday?
Which one was that?
At half time.
Oh, and he slips. Yeah. No. Well, I thought that'll be me. That will on Sunday. Yeah, almost certainly. But
welcome to David Walcheck back in from Salisbury, and Martin Jones, Aldridge Blues. Welcome to you guys. Spreadsheet update. Pete Taylor will be coming very shortly. Daniel Jackson's watching in Reading. Welcome for you. Shane says, anybody know why only 1,800 QPR? That's what QPR have allocated us. It's down
I had a chat with Amir before the game. I saw Amir at the ticket office, and just speaking to him, he made it pretty clear that
that's it.
Actually, do you know what? It was last year. They got the lower block as well.
Yeah.
And he said that is so unprecedented that QPR give any away fans the lower block and the top block. You know, he had to work his socks off to get that lower block. One person goes on the pitch and has a punch up with a QPR fan. You ain't getting it again.
No, that's what happens.
And it's you know, it's like you say,
one person
it's such a crying
so
shame for 3,500 Blues fans who want to go. One bloke goes on the pitch and you can only have 1,800.
And for everybody who shared and liked that video.
Yeah.
Well,
that is as simple as that, unfortunately.
So that's it. That's the reason why. Art Watson, hello from Cyprus. Great show. Keep right on. Welcome to you, my good friend. Mark Walker, a couple of lovebirds in the background. Mr. Fun with a smile on his face talking about Ndoye.
It's not a smile.
The worms turned.
That's not a smile.
Ndoye's getting there.
I saw somebody put a comment. He can't pass the ball to his own teammates. He doesn't even know where the camera's looking as well. He's looking away.
Ndoye's getting there. Mark Monk is working his magic from Steve Tarbuck, and Benjamin.
Monk is working his magic.
This doesn't happen if Ndoye scores on the pitch. Well, you're on your own, son. Gallagher gave his shirt away as well, said Steve Tarbuck.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Gallagher,
tunnel, wasn't it?
Gallagher celebrated the second goal as well, really passionately.
Yeah.
You know, and I think even though Monk's, I don't know whether it's a concerted effort from Monk that the 11 that he's going with more often than not are non-loan players, are actually our players.
Yeah,
you know, whether he's saying this is what we're capable of doing next season because these are our players. But actually, Gallagher...
If we'd only have the Monk at the beginning, eh?
But Gallagher, you know, for the celebration for the second goal as well, for Magoma's goal, he was right in there with the celebration. It means a lot to him, actually.
Yeah, and also David Curry's put a hotter punch in the air at the final whistle was class.
Yeah. And these are things that you expect from, you know, your Morrisons, Gardners, Keefton Bells, Davis, things like that. But, you know, it shows what it means to Hotter. Hotter kind of enjoyed the vast majority of this season.
No.
Do you know what I mean? But actually, he's on the pitch. He's playing a big part in what we're doing. We're winning games. We're in with a really good shout of staying up now. It means a lot to him.
Can you imagine him with Vassell back?
Well, you know, the possibility for next... But that's what will happen all summer now, if we do stay up, you know, which is looking a lot more healthy now, but... You know,
we are Birmingham City.
Exactly. So let's not. It's not certain until mathematically we are safe. But if you know, assuming we do stay up all summer now, it's going to be the same as last summer. The optimism under Monk will be the same as it was under Redknapp.
Absolutely. Paul Gill, my son is a first-year season ticket holder. When Magoma scored, the crowd erupted. I turned to see his reaction, and he was standing on the seat, fist-pumping with a look of sheer delight and wonder. He's never heard us sing like that before.
That's what it's all about, isn't it?
That is
what it's all about.
Awfully sorry that we can't read every single message out. We do read them, but we can't read everything out, though.
Put it if we don't read it out, put it again, and we'll try and get to
absolutely. Gary Williams watching from Hereford. Welcome to you. Watching in Whitney, Phil Potter, and name and shame that one person. No, we're not into that, Rob. I'm afraid
no.
it's an instant.
It is what it is, you know. And
we can't change it, so we move on. Yeah. Go on.
As mentioned earlier, we've got 3 draws, haven't we?
We have.
We've also got another one.
4 draws.
This one is a cracking prize.
An amazing prize.
It's a fantastic
Wait
prize.
till you hear about this. You ready? Off you go,
So,
Mrs. Brown.
there's 2 spare tickets going. Spare tickets, which are going to be like gold
These
dust.
are to be given away
Tickets,
on the Tilton Talk.
tickets
for
that are spare.
Spare for QPR.
For 2 people.
For 2 people.
For QPR.
On behalf of Blues Collective and
what we could have
Dean
done.
Lomas.
Dean Lomas and the Blues Collective.
Thank you ever so much, Dean.
I think we're going to have to devise a little competition which we'll have a think about.
Yes.
And
might not be tonight. Might have to do it.
Dean's actually just written, ask Chris if you can have any thought to my earlier message to him.
Yep.
I've got 2 spare tickets Wednesday, but may only have 1, so hurry. So there may only be 1.
Oh, there may only be 1. Okay,
well,
we'll think of a competition. Well, I will, I suppose.
All right, we'll do that.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Yeah,
Mr. Fun looks delighted on that photo, says Darren Whitehouse. I've made it my profile picture. I've had to.
As he stood there, Sean went, smile. And I thought, I'll do my best.
And Steve Portman has written, I've spoken to Queen's Park Rangers today. No chance whatsoever of anyone getting them at lower block.
That's what Amir
they
said.
are registered disabled.
That's what Amir said.
So that's that.
They're not going to give that lower block away for a long time.
Yeah. Tom Ross at 8 o'clock is coming up, so that something Chris Brown's going to get sorted out.
What to do tonight?
So, I know, it's crazy.
Jesus. Hang on.
Shane Patrick Cusick
I don me headphones because I can hear Tom a little bit better.
For QPR tickets.
Robert Doyle said there are only 400 tickets left for Fulham. Is that true? There's certainly only 200 left in the Tilton Road.
Yeah, not many.
So I've got to set my alarm for the morning. For Kyle Colclough now saying, reporting there's only 51 tickets left in the Tilton Road.
Right.
51 tickets in the Tilton. My goodness me. Pete Taylor, rumours of Hernandez from Leeds signing. Any thoughts?
Good player. I don't think we'll get him for cheap, so he might have to be if there is something in it. I can see why people are saying it because he flourished under Monk at Leeds. He was a big part of that good Leeds team under Monk that just missed out on the playoffs. But I don't think he'll come for cheap, so he might have to be the one big expensive outlay of the summer if that is something Monk wants to go down.
But we've also got to be careful on FFP. So
yeah,
that's
exactly.
One thing
We're not going to be splashing millions.
Gregory Beasley, evening from Porth Call. It's nice to know where you all come from, guys. Thanks ever so much for joining in and listening to us. Watching from Chelmsley Wood, Adam McDonough, and Shane says he'd do anything for Queen's Park Rangers tickets. Well, watch your space, Shane. Who knows? Who knows? Did you get, Bleepy wants to know, did you get Mr. Undoy's shirt?
No.
Did you ask him for one?
I did not ask him for
Would you have asked him for one?
No.
Because you could have worn it on Sunday, couldn't you?
No.
No?
No, I think the deal was if he scored the winner, then I'd have to get a shirt with him on the back.
I was begging. I was begging for him to do it. Daniel Jackson's asking, will the show continue in the summer? What we tend to do, Daniel, is
Go to Barbados for
do
10
one
weeks.
after the end.
You might.
Do one after the end of the season. But then we normally have the summer off.
Yeah.
And join a week before the season starts again.
The international tournament this year, though, we might have.
But there is also a little question of the World Cup finals, and if England do happen to progress,
Right.
I'm sorry I'm being boring here, girls and boys. If England do happen to progress, we may come back in.
When England
we may come back in. Adrian's saying expect the G upper to be open for Fulham. I hope so. I would love nothing more than to see that ground full again.
It'd be brilliant.
I've got goosebumps. Look at me.
Yeah.
Look at me. Look at me. Just
It'd be
thinking
brilliant.
of a full St Andrews does that.
Do you want to do
Arthur
Tom
Rose is
before
watching
we
from
go?
Menorca. Welcome to you. And Dave Moore is asking, isn't Hernandez a free in the summer? I don't know, David. Do you know?
Oh, I'm not sure actually.
No.
But even if he was out of contract, his wages would be quite considerate. But if he's out of contract, then
Yeah, Kieran McKenna is saying also Hernandez will be out of contract.
right. Well, that's a transfer fee we might not have to worry about then. Yeah.
Yeah. Paul Gill wants to know if Mr. Pugh got Undoy's phone number for a date on Tuesday.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Still
no.
working on it.
And Daniel Rowan, good afternoon from St Andrews, Florida. I had to move 4,000 miles away to Florida, so I obviously had to choose this town.
Well, obviously, yeah.
Perfect.
That's
How perfect
wonderful,
is that? I'm going to put a
yeah.
like on that. There you go. Thanks, Daniel.
Yeah.
Send me a friend request if you would, buddy, because I've got quite a few from down Florida way. End of season curry, that could be on the card. You never know, Gregory. And Ray had a pie. Ray
had a pie.
Ray rates all the pies.
Yeah, I saw Ray's pie. Balti. Not bad.
Yeah.
Looked okay.
Yeah. I was just too nervous to eat.
Impressed about the bovril as well.
I had
Always got time for a bovril,
yeah.
as long as there's pepper.
I had that moment where I can't eat. And believe me, I was such a miserable grouch on Friday night at home.
Yeah,
honestly,
I can.
I was
I can
probably
see
horrible.
That. Yeah,
And if I wasn't, I'm
I can
sorry.
understand that. Yeah. 2 minutes for Tom.
Okay, superb. Could you ask the Monkmeister to get the owners to knock up a new main stand for the start of the new season? It would be nice, Mark, but
That's the least of our worries, isn't it? You want to
yeah.
get yourself safe and get a team going. Get a bit of continuity and calm before you start looking at all that.
Cool. Welcome to Tracy Hemming. Thanks for spending time with me on Saturday. It was lovely to sit next to you, my little flower, and great to share such a brilliant win with you. Everybody's saying his contract's up in July, so we could be in there.
It's possible then.
there.
We won't be the only people in for him. But
No.
you'd hope that
Nobody's played under the
you'd
Monk
hope
before, hasn't he?
that the Monk connection will play a part. Yeah, definitely.
Right, Rob Dawes said, I think we only need 1 point to secure safety. Obviously, he goes under the results, but there are mixed run-ins. Come on, Blues.
I think so.
Straight after we've had a chat with Tom, we'll have analyse your predictions from the weekend and see how we go with that. We're all Forest fans tomorrow, says Ian Lomas. Well, not Forest fans, but we certainly wouldn't mind.
Yeah. Well, that's the result we want. I think as long as Barnsley don't win, I think even a draw, you'd take a draw as well. I think. Just to keep them below.
Aye, okay. Are we live, sir? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the legend that is Mr. Tom Ross.
Hi guys, how are we doing?
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant, thanks. Certainly
Especially now.
better, certainly better, Tom.
Yeah.
Right, at the top of the conversation, Tom, there's one question I've got to ask you. Are you a Birmingham City fan?
I don't like to say what I am really.
Okay.
I've been one since I'd had no choice. I was born one, and I'll die one. End of story.
That's it. That's cleared that up. So social media can go back off its meltdown.
It has.
And we've now cleared.
So what were they suggesting?
Suggesting that you were.
You might not be as dedicated as you say you are.
I'm a professional
Tom,
journalist. I look after all our teams.
You are a professional journalist, Tom, and you commentate
Right.
on teams around the Midlands, right?
Yeah.
And even I admire and respect chat when you're commentating on a Villa game because I love your commentaries. There is no.
But you know something, seriously?
Else.
You can be passionate.
I don't.
You can be passionate about your team. You can be passionate about your country. But it doesn't mean you've got to hate everybody else.
Doesn't no. I couldn't do your job, Tom. I don't think. I'm being genuine, right? Because I'm so Birmingham City through and through and through, and I know you are.
That's a credit to Tom, though, isn't
yes,
it? You know?
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to explain to the gentleman today.
Yeah.
But hey ho, that you've cleared that.
It's quite simple, really. Right, I was born in New John Street West, in the backstreet slums of Birmingham, on the just between Summer Lane and Newtown Road, and it was closer to Villa Park, to be fair. But my dad took me on the 19 to St Andrews every other week.
There you go.
And that's how I became hooked. 1956, we beat West Brom 2-0 or 2-1, and that was my first game.
Yep.
Since then, I've seen them in Europe, in the Fair Cities Cup. I've seen every era. I've been home and away. I've been the pitch announcer. I've hosted just about every Players Awards dinner for the last 30 years.
Absolutely.
I've hosted every event. I'm chairman of the former Players Association. I run the Birmingham City All-Stars charity team that's raised around £1.6 million, or helped to raise £1.6 million for local charities. And to be fair, don't care who it is, question my allegiance to my football club. I don't care who you are. Don't ever do that, because I've earned my pips and stripes. That's what
Absolutely.
Because over the years that's what I've done.
A lot of reaction coming in. Tom Ross, born in Aston and a Blue Nose. I've heard it from the horse's mouth. Tom Ross, you're a legend, from Steve Tarbuck.
By the way, all my mates at school, I went to St Chad's. There was two of us, Cornelius Walsh, Connie Walsh, and myself.
Yep.
The only two Blues fans at St Chad's. And boy, did we get beat up regular because of it.
John Robbins, Sir Tom, Chris Woodley, miss hearing Tom on the radio. Well, he's still actually on the radio. You do bits for
TalkSport.
Yeah.
And there's a big new exciting thing coming towards the end of this season, and then starting next season for real. So I'll keep everybody abreast
We've
of
got
that.
an exclusive there, Tom.
Say again?
We got an exclusive there.
You know how much Chris Q loves his exclusives.
It's going to be massive for us as well. It's going to be massive for us.
Brilliant.
The way we communicate in this world is changing.
Yeah.
The world is digital. You're finding that out.
Yeah.
The world is digital.
We know.
The digital, it's full steam ahead digital. Look how many people watch Netflix. It's a digital app. Look how many people watch Amazon, a digital app. The days of terrestrial radio and TV are on the wane. Digital is where it's at. More people listen to podcasts and all sorts of things now. If you don't embrace digital, then
don't
you'll
give
be
too
left
much
behind.
away, Tom. Don't
So
give too much
that's the
away.
next step in my career anyway.
Jez McDonough, Tom Ross, Carling Cup versus West Ham was the best commentary ever. I couldn't possibly not agree with that. Tom
I still
Ross,
can't go
legend.
anywhere near East London.
Legend broom through. Everybody's asking for Bronx. That's good. We at the
But
game
it was
Saturday,
an
Tom?
amazing night. I mean, listen, I've had some wonderful nights.
Yeah.
That at St Andrews, under the floodlights, watching them play Roma, watching them play Barcelona, watching them play Espanyol and Zagreb, seeing my first ever game, West Brom, and my dad holding my dad's hand, and I was only like a young lad, and I've got so many great memories. But standing out, I've got to be honest. There was the League Cup win, both legs against Aston Villa. I was at both legs. Amazing night. I know it wasn't a massive trophy then. There was no Wembley. There was no Europe. The big teams weren't in it, but it was still a massive, for me, as a Blues fan, to see them lift a cup was truly special.
Yeah.
Watching Trevor Francis in the 70s, home and away, going to that game at Leyton Orient, well, Millwall fans tried to stop the game when we got promoted that night. I was there that night. The playoff semi-final, I'll never forget that, beating
Beautiful day.
beating Norwich. I'd never forget the semi-final down in Millwall.
No.
The Worthington Cup semi-final. Granger scoring his header at the far post against Ipswich. Being robbed by David Ellery in the final. Then moving on to the quarter-final, beating Aston Villa in the quarter-final, beating West Ham in the
Beautiful
semi-final.
moment.
And more than just beating them, coming from behind to win that game and reach the final, where nobody gave Birmingham a chance. And then all of a sudden, they're choosing who they're going to get to lift the trophy. They had an injured player who's going to... And then we went and done them, turned them over. I've got some wonderful memories. If I died tomorrow, I've got some great memories.
Beautiful. Right, Tom, you spoke briefly about the Ipswich game. Now, the atmosphere at that one was iconic.
Amazing.
The atmosphere on Saturday was just unbelievable. My goodness me, we put a shift in.
Absolutely. And funny enough, I've just sent my Birmingham Mail column off to to the Mail. I've sent it off today, and in it I talk about Birmingham City fans. I said the atmosphere was amazing, but not only from Blues, but I thought also Sheffield United fans helped to make the occasion special.
Yeah, Duffy made the occasion special.
Was not just because Gary Monk had asked the fans to get behind the team, but because the excitement generated by the players from two teams where it was a must-win game for.
Yeah.
You very rarely go to a game that's must-win for both teams.
Yeah.
And I thought it was fabulous. Goalmouth action, crosses, few tasty tackles, controversy, lots of hitting the bar. I tell you what, that could catch on, couldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It was one of those days that will stick with me in my memory.
Absolutely. The fans were brilliant, by the way.
Do you know what? Tom, I put on my Facebook. We'll play the video on here in a minute. I put on my Facebook. I was videoing two lads. This is 10 minutes after the team's gone off the pitch, and Mr. Blue Sky is belting out, and they're dancing their heads off, and it's absolutely beautiful to see. And I take that home and I show, young people like young Courtney who you met outside the a few weeks ago. And I said, this is what St Andrews can be like, because I couldn't take her on Saturday. And she's only seen us lose there, bless her, so she'll get her time. And, but like...
You can't beat it, mate. I never left the ground till... gone at past 6.
Right.
Or no, it was about 25 past 6 when I actually left. I was talking to Blues fans in the old main stand car park, and they were absolutely buzzing after the day. Not just the win, but the whole atmosphere of everything added to the win, made it a very special day indeed. And they were still buzzing, and they were chatting, and, the little kids in their Blues tops, all of a sudden, now realise what their dad meant when he said, we're going the Blues, you know what I mean? All of a sudden, them kids realise, and they're hooked for life now. Any young kids that were there on Saturday will never support another team as long as they live.
Yeah, well, I was still sobbing halfway down the Coventry Road. 15 minutes after the game had finished, mate. Honestly, that performance meant so much to me. That's actually made my football season a whole lot better.
Against a good team.
A very, very good team. We were 3 points off the playoffs.
Who needed to win.
We
went, and you know something, we went behind.
I know.
We went behind, and still we came back. And I wrote it in the column in the Mail. I said, once the team went behind, they responded, the Blues fans, by raising the decibels to fever pitch after going a goal down. That made a difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though the Muppet Mark Duffy couldn't help himself.
What an idiot. What an absolute... I'll tell you what, though, that gave the Tilton and the Cop all the ammunition they needed, mate. All the ammunition.
He only had 4 games for us, and I don't remember them.
No, I don't even remember him, to be perfectly honest with you.
He had 4 games. So I don't know where he was coming from, if I'm honest. Because I give him somebody who had 100 games and we'd give him stick.
What an absolutely idiotic thing to do at a high-profile game like that as well.
Nonsense.
Ridiculous.
Nonsense.
Crazy.
Absolute nonsense. But listen, at the end of the day, he's on his team bus with a miserable face, and the Blues fans have gone home happy.
Yeah. Duffy, what's the score? That's coming through at the minute. I videoed that as well. I put that on Facebook.
But it was a special day. But the one thing I like about Gary Monk is...
Well, that's actually
the
something
first
that's
thing he said to us.
Something that's on the board.
The first thing he said in the press area was, listen, we're enjoying it, but that's over now.
Yep.
Because the job ain't done. Mm-hmm. We haven't finished the job. That was brilliant.
People are asking, what do you think of Gary Monk?
Well, it's quite interesting. It's always... How do I explain this? It's ever so difficult, because I do a lot of polls on social media.
Yeah.
And do you think Blues will win, lose or draw, whoever they're playing? That is influenced by the previous result. If they've lost the previous week, a lot of people say we'll get beat. If they've won the previous week, a lot of people say they'll win. And I think I'm absolutely delighted with Gary Monk. But that might be just because I'd had enough of poor managers. If that makes any sense, Zola, Harry, Steve Cottrell, too many, nothing had gone right. And now all of a sudden we've got somebody who's extremely professional. And I think, to be fair, Steve Cottrell was intensely professional. He wanted to pay attention to detail. Yeah. He just had no charisma, and there's no way players had played for him. No. That's in my opinion.
And do you know what Gary Monk's also got?
I do think these guys really have got it for Gary Monk. He's got them on his side. Of that, there is no question.
Do you know what else Gary Monk's got? A close season coming up.
Well, listen, I'm the one thing I'm saying now, and I'm going to be absolutely open about it, I just hope he stays. I really hope he stays. Now, that'll depend on a number of things. One, staying up, I think, will be vital. Two, I think you'll want to know if they've got the wherewithal to do something in the summer. And I'm told by people at the club that they will be able to do something in the summer. So, all
back on your
being
toes
equal,
again, Chris Pugh.
well, all things being equal, he will have the summer, pre-season, to get everything right, to get people in that he wants. And listen, he's no mug. He's come in. I'll just tell you a little story. When Millwall beat Blues 1-0, Steve Cottrell said it was a rubbish way to play, 4-4-2, and if we tried to play it, we'd get beat every week. Right? Gary Monk's come in, won the first 3 games, won 3 games out of the first 4 playing 4-4-2.
Yep.
Because Gary Monk has looked at his players and said, what system suits them, rather than saying they've got to fit my system. He's looked at them and said, what can I get the best? And he's gone simple. And I think he's absolutely right. Had he got better players in, then he might play a different way. But he's playing that way because it gets the best out of the players he wants. And I think that's a great management technique. And work around your players, not yourself.
I think that game again on Saturday has certainly increased season ticket sales for next season.
Well, I think already the Fulham tickets are flying out anyway.
Yeah. There's only 51 left for the Fulham game in the Tilton Road at the minute.
That's amazing,
isn't it?
You know, it's just hopefully they'll open the whole ground up, because I think they'd sell it.
This is what people have been asking on here tonight. Yeah.
I think they'd sell out. You know, if they open the whole ground and just rammed it, and let's have the most amazing celebration. I know it's not right to celebrate staying up, because they shouldn't be in the position they're in.
No.
However, it's a fact of life. If we stay up, it's time to celebrate, because, you know, it's only a few weeks since I was worried about us going down. Now, I'm more thinking towards we're going to stay up than I am going down. But a lot will depend on how, you know, Barnsley and Bolton do, how Barnsley do in their game in hand.
That's tomorrow night, of course.
Yeah, but absolutely. But the one thing we can't do, and I'm sick to death of Birmingham flirting with relegation. Last year I had to go to Bristol. I'm sick of it. I know it's wonderful. We went to Bolton and Caddy scored and everybody had a wonderful time. I'd rather not be in that position.
If we stay up, and there is still an if, because it's we're not out of the woods, you know. And Gary Monk stays and we get the summer.
Yeah,
I can see us genuinely, from the turnaround that I've seen from when Steve Cottrell played games to how we played on Saturday, the turnaround has been immense. What he's done on that training ground, I haven't got a clue. What they're giving him for breakfast, I haven't got a clue. But somebody has done something absolutely unbelievably tremendous for that group of players.
We're having more shots.
It's just
we're having more. There's more chances being created. There's more shots. Goals are still our problem, by the way. Goals are still a problem. We're going to have to, if we want to be serious contenders next year, if we stay up, they've got to sort that goal scoring out. Listen, you've got Lukas Jukovic, who I think is as honest a player as I've ever seen. Runs his heart out. Sam Gallagher's Naz, but he's another player like that. Che Adams, we've got Vassell to come back, you know, but that's not till next season. But I think they still need a goal scorer. They need a goal scorer that you can rely on, that gets game-winning goals. It's not going to be cheap, but I think that's a priority for us. I really do.
Yeah.
But it's confidence, isn't it, as well, though, Tom? You know, the fact that, you know, under Cottrell, you mentioned that Millwall game and the Barnsley game at home as well, which we lost, and the manager's coming out saying that we're scared to play at home. The players, you know, the Villa game, and he comes out and says that the game has passed players by and the game's too big for some players. And then your new manager comes in and treats them all with the respect that they deserve, and actually says, go on then, you go out and just perform, you know, play with some freedom, play with a bit of enjoyment, and go out and see what you can do.
Well, you're right to a degree, but it isn't that simple. Because one of the things I do know Gary does is his attention to everybody knowing their job. He is so adamant that every player goes on the pitch and knows their job, knows who's marking who, knows who's responsible for tracking who, knows who's responsible. That is a fabulous way to start. Once they've got that, and the ball's then in the other team's half, then express yourselves. But the first thing he does is get them organised to make sure everybody knows what's expected of them. And there's nothing wrong with that. I do think, listen, I've heard a million managers say it's tough to play at home because there's a demands. You have to be strong mentally to deal with the expectation level of home fans. So I understand what Cottrell was saying. A, he shouldn't have said it.
But
he should have kept that in house. But B, you know, there's nothing wrong with him saying that because lots of teams have had a problem. And I've heard other managers, other Birmingham City managers, successful Birmingham City managers say, of course, a lot easier to play away from home because A, there's no expectation level because only a small number go in relative terms. But at home, there's pressure. At home, there's not only pressure from the fans, but there's pressure because you're at home that you take the initiative to teams. So it is easier to play away from home, be defensive and catch teams on the counter-attack. I get what he's saying.
Yeah.
However, he shouldn't have said it. Because
way
he did it. It's like him saying, well, if they hadn't scored them 2 goals, we'd have won 1-0. Sorry.
Was that pressure on Saturday, though, when we went 1-0 down and Duffy did what he did? Was that pressure, or was that, you know, proper Birmingham City fans showing the team how much we genuinely care about that club?
No, I tell you, there's an interesting point that, because firstly, Blues cost that themselves. He was given away, firstly. Secondly, Duffy was totally unmarked. Thirdly, I thought the keeper should have done better with it, if I'm honest. That's my view.
Very much so, yeah.
Stockdale could have done better. So, but had that gone in and the fans started booing, who knows what would have happened? But they didn't. They got behind the team and they played their part as the 12th man to get them back on the winning track. Don't underestimate the importance of fans and their ability to affect a game, because they do. But they can affect it positively, like they did on Saturday, but it's also easy to affect it negatively.
Yeah. A lot of people are asking your player of the season. Would you like to divulge that on here or not?
Oh, that's a good one. That really is a good one. I've been very, very impressed with Harley Dean, if I'm honest. I was impressed with Jonathan Grounds, because he's had lots of stick. But he's stuck at it, and, you know, he's developed into a decent enough defender. I'm just trying to think. Vassal I'd like to have seen.
Yeah.
Bogan. Otter's all of a sudden started to look a player.
A proper player.
Proper. Boga drove me mad because he's got ability and feet to die for. But he would beat 3 players after 34 step overs, 2 drag backs, and not cross the bloody ball. And Lukas Jukovic is gambling on him crossing the ball.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whereas you can look at him and go, wow. I think Harley Dean has been absolutely rock solid. I've been impressed with Maxine Collin, if I'm honest, and Wes Harding's only coming late.
Great. Yeah, somebody put
but he's
on
done
earlier.
Well, the kid.
Somebody put on earlier. Monk's masterstroke was to bring Wes Harding through.
Absolutely. So yeah, and I've got to be truthful. I've gone when he's picked him, and this is just opinion, but I've gone, I don't know whether this is the time to pick a kid. But I tell you what, the young man stood up to it, hasn't he?
Certainly has.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Fair play to the kid. So if you were putting me on the spot now, I'd probably go for Harley Dean.
There you go. You have it, folks.
Although, whoever scores the goal that keeps us up, I'll change it to him.
Yeah.
I hope it's Chekundoy. Chris has got an affinity with him, as you probably well know. On Sunday, this coming Sunday, Birmingham City Ladies play Arsenal at Solihull Moors. And after the game is finished, Chris Pugh has volunteered for charity. I think there's £100 in the pot so far. To take a penalty against Ann-Katrin Berger, and then for her to take one against him. Live on Facebook on Sunday.
Excellent.
It will be on the Tilton Talk one. One of us will be there videoing it. So he's looking forward to that. He's not smiling at all, honestly.
That's going to be good fun. I think my money's on the goalie.
Yes, everybody's is.
And mine is. I'm taking it, and mine is.
But what a marvellous comeback she had
I'm
there
totally
from,
honest with you. My money's on the goalie.
You know, from having cancer
but
surgery earlier in the year to getting back into the you know.
They've done
full
well.
squad.
You know,
amazing.
It's fabulous to see anybody putting themselves out to raise money for people less fortunate.
Yeah.
And so many people are doing it these days.
Yeah.
You know, there's every day as somebody doing something that needs sponsorship to help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are putting themselves out. People, I mean, one man ran the marathon and, you know, died trying to help other people.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's wonderful. If you can do anything and you can raise money for those less fortunate, then hey, good on you. Good on you. Good on you. I mean, I went, and this is interesting. I go to Aston Villa on a Friday for the press conference. All the other journalists do as well.
B6
But that's
on this
my
programme,
job.
Tom.
I go to the press conference. Because in the radio bit, there's only me and the kid from BBC.
Well, that's definitely a red card.
But do you realise how many people are there? Backroom, ex-Birmingham.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Listen to this.
Yes, there's loads, yeah.
Listen to this.
Yeah.
Bruce,
Yeah.
Clements, Calderwood.
Yeah.
3. Chief Head of Scouting, Recruitment, Tony Coton.
Yeah.
Chief European Scout, Ian Atkins. Recruitment, Tommy Mooney. Head of Academy Coaching, Brian Eastick. One of their top scouts, Bernard Paynton. Have I left anybody out? I think that's about 9.
Yeah, got to be.
All ex-Birmingham.
Yeah.
But they're doing a job, I suppose, is what they'll say. But I can't go there, because every Friday morning I go there, we're talking about the days at Birmingham City. To be fair. But, you know, it's quite interesting how many ex-Birmingham City. I was telling this to Gary Monk. I was saying to Gary Monk, Gary, because I keep saying to him, every time I interview him, I keep saying, fans really desperate for you to stay. And he keeps saying, well, there'll be a time to talk about that. Let's get the job done. So I get what he's saying.
Yeah.
But he, and I told him, I said, listen, once you're here, it gets to you. I said, the amount of managers, the amount of players that actually, even when they finish, continue to live here. I'm telling you, this place will grab you. And I think it's beginning to. I think he can't believe.
Well, he called it a proper club, didn't he?
He's got a great fan base, but I don't think he can remember how intense and close and passionate everybody is about what's going on. I don't think he can understand that.
Not just him as well, but I think Pep and James Beattie as well. Pep Clotet and James Beattie as well. They all seem to have fallen for us. Do you know what I mean? And whether that's a concerted effort to get the fans on side more.
I hope you're right.
But they've all done it.
I'm a cynic, by the way. I just think, you know, they're not going to come out and say anything, are they, detrimental?
No, of course.
So they'll come out and say something positive, and I get that. But I'm saying, once they've been here a little bit, it will grab hold of them.
Yeah.
Then they won't need, there'll be no acting or anything. When eventually this club, and it does grab you, I don't care who you are, it's been a vital and an important part of my life. I've just had my grandson Freddie's just been here. And he went, he said, what a game Saturday. He was there with his dad Saturday.
Right.
What a game it was. And so him, my daughter, my brothers, they're Birmingham City fans, you know, and whenever we meet, that's the only way we talk, is about the game or what happened in the game or who's going to be the next manager, who's going to be the last manager, who's going to be the striker, who we're going to buy, who we're not going to buy. I mean, that's all we talk about. Yeah. We don't talk about Strictly Come Dancing or anything in our family. It's always about the football. That? Exactly. Well, I mean, when in the Carling Cup final, you know, I mean, there was, I can't remember, there must have been 13 or 14 of my family there. You know, all decked out in the blue and white, and my grandkids are growing up the same way. My granddaughter Mia, my grandson Freddie, they're all Birmingham City fanatics, and that's good for me because it's easy. Let me tell you, it's easy to support Real Madrid, Barcelona. It's easy to support Manchester United and Man City and all the big clubs. It's hard work being a Blues fan at times. It's hard work. But I tell you what, once you're in, you're in. Yeah. There ain't no getting away from it. I'm going to
put you on the spot.
It's like a drug.
I'm going to put you on the spot, Tom. We've got a competition tonight for a ticket to the Queen's Park Rangers away game. And I'd like you to pose a really difficult question for the listeners out there. And the first 20 correct answers we'll take into a prize draw tonight, and one of those 20 will win a ticket for Queen's Park.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
So do you have
and it's for the QPR away game?
For the QPR away game, yeah.
I think it might be his home game.
And it's
No, it's got to be QPR. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah.
Yeah, it's QPR, yeah. And it's dedicated by a gentleman called
Dean Lomas from Blues Collective.
From Blues Collective.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
We
Hey,
want
I'll
a
tell
really
you what,
tough question.
That's going to
from
be
you.
a good atmosphere as well, because they've got a fantastic home record, you know.
Yeah.
I think they've got the best home record outside the top six.
Well, let's go and bust it.
Yeah, exactly, party poopers, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
No problem.
I'm just trying to have a little think who... let's talk a bit longer while I'm having to think of a question. And I can think of a really good... It ain't going to be easy, though, I'll tell you now.
No.
Right, any plans for a second book is being asked by Adam Wilkes.
No, but there's a fair few chapters to add on now.
Right, well,
particularly in the managers section.
that could be the second book coming up then.
There's a fair few sections, but it's still doing very well, you know. And I've been, if I'm honest with you, I'm totally amazed. If I'm totally honest with you, absolutely amazed, because I didn't think it would do so well, but it's done brilliant. And thanks for the lovely things people have said. You know, the reviews on Amazon have been amazing. Not all, there's been one or two haven't been quite so good, but 99% have been absolutely super. So it's fantastic. So tell me then, what can the Blues fans do to keep Gary Monk at the club?
All we can do is do what we are doing.
Yeah.
And
let him know.
And the support has been absolutely unbelievable.
Keep
and I tell you what,
getting behind him and let's self-follow him out and let him know how much we want him to
let's
start.
get safety on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. By whichever means we get it. Who cares, right? And then let's everybody dress up as a monk for the final game of the season. For the final game of the season, everybody dress up as a monk.
That might impress him, you know.
Huh?
That might impress him. But he's got... I've tried to talk to him as well about because you can banter him as well, by the way.
Yeah.
He loves the banter. He loves the banter.
Could you ask him to come in?
The first interview I did, he said my last game as a player was here.
Yeah.
He said in the cup. And I said, I know, I'll give you 2 out of 10. And he went, I thought I had a good game, he said, to be honest. But he could have the banter with him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's important, that the people in our side of the fence can have that relationship with him. Serious when it gets serious, but he loves telling the stories afterwards. He loves it. Because our old manager, Gary Pendry, old left back, well, he was his coach at Southampton. So he knows a little bit about it. And of course, they had James Beattie as well, didn't they, down at Southampton? Gordon Strachan and Gary Pendry. So he'll know a little bit about Birmingham City before he got here. I'm sure that's the case. He'll know a lot more now. He'll know more about the passion and what drives the fans on than anything else.
Shane says I'm sending all 3 of them a love letter on Twitter.
Well, that's a start.
I think he's getting the message through social media anyway.
Listen, he's on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I think he understands. I think, listen, every week I do an interview with him. You know, we talk about the fans, and then when we finish the official press conference, he stays for a bit and we have a little chat and swap a few stories. And he's always, and I look into his face, I know he's not just bought. I think he genuinely has been surprised at the passion from the fans. I think he's been surprised.
I don't think.
And I told him the story about Sir Alex Ferguson when I was in Steve Bruce's office before one game when Man U were there in the Premier League days, and Sir Alex said to us, he went, "This is without doubt one of the most hostile places I've ever come to." That's a manager who'd been at Galatasaray, by the way, in the Champions League.
Yeah.
But he thought St Andrews was hostile. He didn't mean violent, but he means the atmosphere created is hostile, and the opposition really have to overcome that. And that's what I was trying to say at the start, you know, that positivity. If the fans are at it, not only does it get your team at it, but it can affect the opposition as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's also, you know, for me, very, very important as well. Very, very important.
Yeah. Joseph Camp's asking Tom, was Steve Cottrell as awkward to interview as he came across?
Oh, absolutely. Well, my first interview was quite interesting.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, fourth question in. I said to him, listen, there's been a number of managers try to get a tune out of these players. You know, what makes you think you're going to be able to do it? And he went, I know what you want me to say. And I just stopped the interview there. I went, sorry, I don't want you to say anything. I've asked a question, answer it or don't answer it. That's your choice. But I've only asked a question. I have no preset answer that I want from you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But he was that sort of. I think he was a bit intense. I think he was almost paranoid. He thought people, maybe he'd had a bad time with journalists before. I don't know. But that was the sort of thing. And I remember in one of the early games as well, I said to him, listening to you, Gary, the first goal is going to be vital. And he went, no, not necessarily. If we don't get the first goal, it's not that important, da-di-da. And I thought, well, that's all right. The next day, they won 1-0. And he said in the post-match press conference, getting the first goal was vital. And I went, hang on, yesterday you told me. And he was laughing about it. But that was the way the man was. You never knew. And he was awkward and he was difficult because, you were a second or two away from upsetting him. And then if you did, he was going somewhere else. You'd have a trouble getting anything out of him. So you did have to do him in a very, very special way. You had to interview him. You could ask the questions, but if you didn't phrase it right, it could turn very quickly to like a very monosyllabic answers. So you didn't get anything out of him. So it was difficult. And I've heard all the fans say, "Oh, you've got to go in and let him have it hard." Well, you do, and they just end the interview and walk away. So what chance have you got then? You do have to be a bit clever.
Oh, thanks for being honest with us.
In the way you speak to people. You do. You can't. It's easy. Listen, I found being in the press box, I'm the greatest player and manager the world has ever seen sitting in the press box. I never have a bad game. Just the same, I think it's easy on the terraces telling journalists how to go and interview a manager. Till you've been in that place, it's difficult, because some managers you can do any. Steve Bruce, Big Eck, you could ask him anything. In any way, and they'll take it. Some managers, you can't. Ali Redknapp, you can say anything you want to him, not a problem. You couldn't to Steve Cottrell, and you couldn't to Ron Saunders, for example.
It's no surprise that the players had an issue with him. Then if he comes across like that with the supporters and the media, you'd imagine he'd be exactly the same with the players as well.
I don't know. I wasn't in the dressing room, so I can't really answer that. But I would imagine if he is, he wouldn't get a reaction out of him.
No, of course, yeah, exactly.
And because it's wrong, but these days you do have to have him on side. I think it's a nonsense. In days gone by, it wasn't the manager's job to make the players happy. It was the players' job to make the manager happy. Because they wanted to be in the team. Yeah. They wanted to get the win bonus, their appearance money. Now, they get paid good money, win, lose, or draw. They don't care. So the manager needs them on his side. That's why a lot of managers don't come and criticise, because they need them. And they can't come out. They might privately think things, but they won't come out and say it, because they'll lose the dressing room. And that's a terrible thing. It shows you the weakness of the modern-day footballer, in my view.
Money.
Well, that's purely. I've got a question anyway.
Marvellous. Can I just read this before you ask your question? A gentleman called Colin Brown says, "I will never forget Tom walking around with a massive power pack on his back at a previous Wembley final, interviewing fans with tears of joy on his smiling face. Tom is like a stick of rock. He's got blue and white all the way through him, a blue nose and a proper bloke." From Colin the Roofer.
I did leave that one out.
P.S. Can I have a Bronx hat?
I did leave that one out. That was the. I'm sure that was the. Leyland Daft final.
Yeah.
And I was very fortunate that I was allowed to stay with the team. Me and Colin Tatham, we stayed with the team at the Reading University. We went training with the team. I took the last training session before Wembley. Now, Lou Macari, it's quite interesting. Lou Macari turned to the players and he's gone, I'll tell you, I'll start from the beginning. We got on the bus and I said to Chick Bates, who was Lou's assistant, "Where are we training?" And he went, "We don't know, we could find a field." Now, this is a big club. We wouldn't find a field before we got to Wembley. Anyway, they found a field, climbed over it, got a running track, day before Wembley. And Lou said, "Lads, Tom's taking the training." Well, John Gale and Nigel Glegg went, "Well, if he's taking it, we ain't doing it." And I went, "Well, you do 20 press-ups then. And the rest of the team will do them if you don't." So the lads are laughing their heads off. And I didn't realise till late on, Lou Macari had got a team of players who'd never been to Wembley, and he was lightening the atmosphere the day before they went. Clever management. Clever management. But then we went on the team bus, and it was the last time that the team bus went up Wembley Way. And we turned off the main road into Wembley Way with a scene I'll never forget. I was doing it live on BRMB at the time.
I was there.
We turned into Wembley Way, that sea of blue and white, singing. Oh my God, I'll never forget it. It was just amazing. And then, of course, I'd got my tracksuit on. I'd got my headphones in a bucket, and I was the first person to do commentary from the bench. I sat next to Robert Hopkins. Robert Hopkins, the sub, who was getting more irate because he never got on by the minute, by the way. And the last thing you want to have is an irate Robert Hopkins by your side. But they were brilliant for me. And as soon as the game had ended, I was round interviewing players. He's right. And I couldn't help myself. I decided I did a lap of honour with the cup with the players because I absolutely was thrilled to bits. And we had a wonderful night. We had a wonderful day. And I know it was only the Leyland Daff.
No, it wasn't.
That sticks in my memory.
It was the Leyland Daff.
It was.
And it is
you know, we had that conversation the other day about the overhead kick by who was it?
John Gale.
No, Ronaldo.
Oh, but the one if Ronaldo would have scored that,
they're all going, but what about this? And what about that? And what about this? And I put in my column in the Mail again. I went, let's not forget John Gale. By the way, it might only have been the Leyland Daff, but let me tell you, that was a goal that would grace any pitch anywhere in the world.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing.
Goosebumps.
I mean, I'd been with him training the day before. Me and Tats again. He'll tell you, Tats. They were having shooting practice, and he couldn't hit a cow's backside with a banjo. Gately, he saved it all for the final. Scored twice. What an atmosphere that was!
Day.
The Leyland Daff.
What a day!
50,000 Blue Noses singing their heads off. I couldn't believe it. So then the auto windscreen, the famous Paul Tate one, coming off the pitch at Huddersfield, when Barry Fry, they've won promotion, double, amazing. Just the same, I'll never forget going to Tranmere under Barry Fry, getting relegated, and they chaired him off. We'd won 10 out of the last 12, and still got relegated because West Brom won at Portsmouth. Bob Taylor scoring. I've got over it now, honestly. Not much. So I remember all those things. Not just, and this is what annoys me about the modern game. It seems to me that, we saw it at the weekend with Jurgen Klopp. Almost like West Brom, the way they play. Only the best team should play. Nonsense. We're all being suckered hypnotised by these idiots who think there's only one way to play the game. You play to win. You play to win. And even if you're relegated, you've last game of the season, you're 20 points adrift, you still got to try and beat the opposition. You owe that to every other team in the league. He made the point it was a waste of points for West Brom because they're already down. Right. So he's trying to say they should give up. And that's what annoys me. Wherever you go, every game you go to on this planet is a unique footballing experience. When I go to do Blues Fulham, let me tell you, it will be a unique game. There'll never be a game like it before. Nope. And you've heard people, we've done it ourselves, say, it's just like last week. No, it isn't. There's never been 2 tackles, 2 headers, 2 goals, 2 throw-ins, 2 kickoffs. There's never been 2 the same. So every time you go to a game, it's a unique experience. And how can you not be passionate about that when you're at a unique sporting event?
Absolutely.
I just don't get people who moan about football games as if like it's rubbish, what am I doing here type of attitude. Every game's got something to offer, especially if it's at St Andrews, which is a sort of a special place for me.
Very special.
Especially with the old main stand. I was only saying on Saturday to Sean Derry, who was working with me, I've walked up these steps a few times over the last 35, 40 years. And somebody rang me and was telling me they were looking on YouTube for something or other, and they can hear my voice in the background on the tannoy. That was in 1976, for goodness sake.
Good God.
1976, which, I adore doing it, the tannoy. I did the tannoy, and I used to run from the Tilton, when my mates were to do it, run back, watch the first half, run back, do the half times, and run back again. I could have sat in the box, but I wanted to be with my mates on the Tilton, to the left-hand side of the Tilton, just up where the first barrier was. I loved it. Loved it. Loved everything. And, still will.
Right.
All I want now
what's
is
this question
I'd love to see Blues win the FA Cup.
Oh,
I just want them to win the FA Cup, mate. That's all I would love, to see them win the FA Cup.
What question have you got for them then, Tommy?
Right.
Don't tell us the answer on here. I'll give you the phone back to Chris in a
second.
second.
No. I'll just give you the question now. Name the international striker who we signed from Queen's Park Rangers.
and it's the first 20 people that come back with that will get put into a hat. Chris Brown, you
Now,
got the ball.
while you're there, I'm just going to check the book to make sure I've got the bloody thing right. Hang on. Yes. Signed from Queen's Park Rangers.
Okay.
International
He didn't
striker.
He only played a season, but great, world famous striker.
Okay.
Right, okay, thanks for that.
Super.
We've got 3 competitions and this one there to run tonight, Tom, so we better wrap up because we've only got 15 minutes left. Always good to have you with us,
I can't believe
Tom.
you're binning me already.
I know. Wait, listen, come back next week.
I prefer to come in, to be fair, one week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do that.
so have you
Do that,
better
my
than
friend.
yeah.
Do that, because it's
And,
always...
and we'll tell a few stories.
Yes.
Stories.
We've all got plenty.
But it's always a pleasure. I love what you do. You know, the passion, and it's fantastic.
Well, if you
But,
could get the gaffer to come in for us, then we'd really appreciate it, because we can't get anything off the club.
Just make sure you tell anybody that questions my Blues supportership they haven't a clue. They need treatment.
Top man. Top
made
man.
Right, boy.
Cheers, Tom boy. All the best, my
Keep
friend.
right on.
And yourself, mate,
Cheers.
and yourself.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Right, so you need that phone then for the answer to that question. I think you've done what?
Hope he stayed on. You still there, Tom?
You got him. Well, there you go, the one and only Tom Ross. Unquestionably a blue nose. Unquestionably a blue nose.
Yeah, I think you made that
And,
very, very clear.
Right, Mrs. Brown's had to shoot through to the other room to get the answer to this question, but he's going to be back in a minute monitoring what's going on. Right, first competition, Chris, what is it, please?
Right, if you give me 2 seconds. Oh, right, first competition. First competition is right. Okay, the first competition is right. The prize is anonymous, but I do know what the prize is, and it's a pretty good one.
It is a very good prize. I know
It's
what
a
the
pretty
prize
good
is.
one. So if you can draw from this one, that's the first one. You got two.
Sure.
You got to pick 2.
One each then.
Okay,
You do
thank
one
you very
round
much
and one.
indeed.
Okay.
There's my one. And my one is Ben, it looks like, well, without my glasses on, Happock, or Harrock.
Okay, I'll have a look.
All right,
at it,
okay,
yeah.
we'll have a look at that one very shortly.
And Julie Gardner.
And Julie Gardner. Okay. The prize is so good, the club won't let us say what it is.
Not allowed to tell you what it
Okay.
is.
There you go. And it is, believe me, so good. It is so good.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is another. Right, do you want to do the other one?
Yeah, we'll do the...
Go on
This
then,
is for
yeah.
This is for Accessi Blues. It's for 3 disabled people to go to the training session and present mags with the Accessi Blues Player of the Year award.
Marvellous. And where are the names for that one?
I'm going to be giving to you.
So we
straight away.
get rid of the rest of the names out of there, do we?
Gotta make sure.
Shut them.
Right, I'll put this quickly in there. There you go.
And this is for 3. You do 2, I do 1.
So we're picking 3 people
3
out?
people out of
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. There's my first one. My first one is Ben Brooks. Ben Brooks.
And Brooks, give me all the sheets after, will you? Thanks.
There you go. You do the
Hold
last
on
one. Tracy Hemming.
Tracy
And
Henry.
Dave Portman. Dave Portman. There you go.
Portman.
Those are the 3 people that are going to...
They're going to the open training session and present mags with Accessi Blues Player of the Year award.
There you go.
There you go.
get-
Nice little
get
prize
to
there.
meet Jack McGowan.
Fantastic. And we've got another one to come as well.
Another one to come
We've
soon.
got the Tilton
though, because-
Talk. We've got the Tilton Talk.
The,
draw.
the standard Tilton
we-
Talk share
The
draw.
draw.
But then we might as well do that now
Okay.
while we're on the draws, yeah?
I'm doing this to a Benny Hill theme at the moment.
And how many we got for this week?
Right,
Just the
right,
one?
Just the one.
Okay, it's your turn, Mrs.
Me.
Yep.
Okay. 122 shares.
You have a 1 in 122 chance of winning.
Pete Taylor.
There we go. Those.
Pete Taylor, you are
Now,
the winner.
what's going to happen now? Are you going to get in touch with all these people?
I am, yes.
Okay, super job. So just
They will all
leave
know
it alone.
by now anyway.
Yeah.
I think they're all watching, so. Yep, good stuff.
Stepping Stones Global has just arrived. Just got in at the show. Well, it didn't actually. We were about 15 minutes late because we had a technical glitch.
Yeah.
So we might run, a few minutes overtime if we have to. With a footy group from 2 to 4 this Friday at North Solihull Sports Centre in Chelmsley Wood for adults with anxiety and depression. It would be great if you could come down. 18 plus men and women, more than welcome. Good luck in your podcast awards. You deserve to win. Thank you very much for that. And
yes.
thanks for letting me come in and speak a few months ago when we had only just started. Now we're on Twitter at Blue Sky No Clouds. If you could give that a mention, please, based vaguely on Mr. Blue Sky ELO, keep right on. There you go, young man, and don't worry, we'll be having you in again next season.
Yeah, hopefully so, yeah.
Okay, what's the cup, Mr. Fun? Atari Soccer 6?
Yeah, no, I think it's a Speedway one, isn't it?
It's a Speedway one, but
It was a Speedway
legit.
one.
It was a Speedway
It was a
one.
Speedway
Legit
one.
Speedway
It's going to be the new
trophy, yeah.
Tilton Talk Super 6.
6 award trophy.
And talking about Super 6, how well did I do? We're getting more than 2 points this week.
Let's move on. Oh, yeah, I only got 6.
And Sharon, I'm in second.
I got 6, I think, as well.
I got about 13. I think you got 19 and the minute right.
Oh,
I know. Not nice one. I belted it when I got home. Do it right.
Don't
As Tom
condone
says,
violence.
you only play to win. Spreadsheet, here we go.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, we're rumbling through it tonight. We're rumbling through it.
So, Sunderland lost at Burton.
What was your prediction?
Back when I first
Yep.
did it, I had Sunderland beating Burton.
Right, okay.
So Sunderland are now relegated, so I can cross Sunderland off. The fact that they've got Fulham and Wolves in the next two would have meant that they were gone anyway, because I can't see them getting
We must get hold
anything.
of our blogger friend.
Yeah, the Roker report.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. I fell for those guys now. So
Could we do that for next week's show, Chris? Get the
Sorry?
Roker report guy on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
So we'll start with Burton. Now, this is the big game of almost the biggest game of our season
Yes.
now, next Saturday, which will be Burton v Bolton.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Burton have now given themselves a really, really good chance of staying up.
Tiny glimmer of hope.
From nowhere, they've given themselves a really, really, really good chance. If they can beat Bolton at home...
Somebody is building a factory next to the Burton Albion Football Club that actually makes seats.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm joking,
That's
joking.
nice.
I'm joking.
Yeah. So, they're on 38 now. If they beat Bolton and get to 41... Obviously, depending on what Barnsley do tomorrow night...
That's a big game as well for us,
It
isn't it?
is. And do you know what? I was speaking to... I mentioned him earlier, my mate Tom, who lives in London. I was speaking to him earlier. And we think, if Barnsley don't win tomorrow night, I think we're safe on the points we're on. I don't think Barnsley... If they don't win tomorrow... The maximum they'll be on is 39,
Yep.
which will mean they'd have to win one and draw one.
Well, they're on 38 at the minute.
Yeah. So say they draw tomorrow night.
I'm with you,
Get
yes.
to 39.
39.
They'd have to win one and draw one. Minimum win one, draw one
And
from
10
Brentford at home and Derby away.
They've got a 10.
They're not going to do it. They are not going to get to 43 if they don't win tomorrow
Okay.
night.
All right, okay.
Now, that, like I said, that game is massive tomorrow night. Then, because if they don't win, I think you can write them off. I think they're gone, which then leaves Burton or Bolton. Now, the fact that they play each other is a massive help to us because only one of them can win. Now, if Bolton go there and win, I think we're safe because Burton can't catch us.
Would a draw suit us better there?
I don't think a draw is any different to a defeat. I think a win guarantees us safety. I think even if Barnsley win tomorrow night, I think if we go to QPR and win, that guarantees us safety. But that Burton-Bolton game becomes absolutely massive on Saturday because they're the two below us. Like I said, if Barnsley don't win tomorrow night, I think they're gone. I cannot see them getting 4 points from Brentford at home and Derby away.
Okay, well,
Now,
Derby are on their usual annual slide, aren't they?
But they're still in there. Even if they lose tomorrow night against Cardiff, they're on. That'll be 4 defeats in a row. There'll be 1 point outside the playoffs. They are still in there.
Well, Reading are still in the mix.
Reading are still in the mix. However, they've got Ipswich at home.
Same points as us.
They've got Ipswich at home on
Right,
Saturday.
okay.
And I think, I'll be honest, if there's one game you want at this stage of the season, it's Ipswich at home. You know, they're on a bad run themselves, Reading.
Well, Hull are safe now with 48.
Actually, Joe, I said they're on a bad run. They've actually picked up 7 out of the last 9 points from home games.
Right, okay.
So at home, they've been strong, and Ipswich are on the beach. They showed it against Villa at the weekend. They're gone. I think that I'm pretty confident Reading will beat Ipswich at home, which will see them safe.
That red line's getting lower and lower week by week, isn't it?
Tomorrow night, you want you could even afford Barnsley to draw, like I say, and then Saturday, Burton Bolton. It's as long as Burton don't win. Even if Burton win, Bolton will stay on 40 points. And our goal difference, like you said about Wolves, our goal difference is now a lot better than Wolves. Yep. Wolves would have to batter Forest at home. Bolton would have to batter Forest at home to go back above us.
Interesting times.
It is.
Interesting
times. We've given ourselves a massive chance. And like I said, those results on Saturday, every single one of them went perfectly for us.
Pete Taylor's asking if anybody else has lost sound. Could you just check that for us, Chris?
Right, okay. Check.
Kev Kelly reckons that Rowett will be sacked if they fail to get into the playoffs. I think they'll give him one more season.
Yeah. The worry is that because they've spent money, he'd have to be cutting costs again. That's what he did with us. He didn't want that, you know. So maybe he walks. I don't know. But I don't think I wouldn't rule them out of the playoffs yet, though.
James Smith is saying Burton need to win 2 games to go above us.
Burton would need to win both to go above us. Yes. No, not true.
I mean, it could all be over.
Yes, true. Saturday, sorry, yes, of course it's true. They need to win. They need to beat Bolton and win at Preston away.
We've got to look.
But if they beat Bolton, they go into Preston flying with confidence. That'll be 3 wins in a row.
Well, all we've got to do is win our game.
Yeah, like I said,
you know, the season's finished then.
Go and beat QPR, and I'm sure that's what they'll be saying.
And then we can party.
That's what they'll be saying at Blues. The gaffer Monk will be saying to the players, and it's what every fan is thinking. You go to QPR and win, we're playing Championship football next season.
Yeah, as Rob Dawes says, it's in our hands. Don't worry about those below us. We've just got to focus on ourselves. We're not worried about those below us, but it is nice to talk about, you know, the scenarios that couldn't happen.
Because it makes
sound is
everything
good. Everybody's saying sound is good. So it must have been that individual.
Yeah.
Matthew Revel, welcome from New Zealand. Thank you very much for tuning in again tonight to the Tilton Talk show. All right, there are a couple of people saying it's froze. Try refreshing your screens if it has, and then coming back again. Yeah, it's a shame really that not as far as Barnsley game hadn't been played out on the day really.
Well, it's kept us waiting a little bit longer, hasn't it? You know, but actually Barnsley have picked up 1 point in their last 3 games, so they're not confident. You're asking Barnsley to effectively go unbeaten in their last 3 games, which they've struggled to do all season.
Adrian Howell's pointing out here, a point and we scupper Burton catching us as goal difference is too much for them. And
yes, almost certainly, yeah.
The goal difference is let me have a look. Goal difference. Blues is -30, Burton's -44. So you know, but where we've got to be careful is Barnsley's -20.
Yeah, Barnsley's is better than us, but Bolton's isn't. And like I said, Barnsley are the ones now. You know that result tomorrow night is absolutely crucial. If they don't win tomorrow, they have to win tomorrow night. Yep. If they don't, I think they're gone.
James Smith says, don't forget, even if Burton win both games, then one other team also needs to get the necessary points to go above us, which is like the advantage that we got was Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah,
you know, that was it.
And that's the main thing now. So it's Bolton. Bolton are the ones Burton and Barnsley are chasing. The teams aren't chasing us anymore. They're chasing Bolton.
Thomas Clayton says, great video of Duffy Watts to score. Chant started by that young lad in the whole of the stand joining in. Electric. I videoed it myself, mate. Yippee! Brilliant. A point and we spoil the Vials relegation party. Then we can party watching the Vial lose in the playoffs, says Ray.
Yeah.
Nice one. I like your thinking, mate.
Kind of want Cardiff to get automatic. Because
so that Fulham are in the mix.
Yeah, because I think if it's Cardiff, Villa, Borough, and one other, I think Villa fancy their chances. If it's Fulham in the playoffs, I think they're panicking.
Forget the end of season curry night, hire the NEC and let's have a party all in aid of Villa.
Who's paying to hire the NEC?
David Curry. We're going to go on for another couple of minutes. We've got another competition to do yet?
No, we're
You've done. Right. Have you got a winner for the Tom Ross one?
We're going to do it probably next week.
Well, you can't because it's...
It's not the QPR.
Huh?
I might do it on the Tilton Talk page because it may not be QPR. It may be Fulham.
Oh, right,
We're
okay.
trying to work it out.
Right, okay, they're still trying to work it out, but there is a ticket there at least. Miscommunication is never good in this industry.
No.
All right, and for the last 5 minutes, I want you to do anything to do with footballers and the building trade. The building trade.
Building trade.
So I'll start you off with David Cement. Get in straight to the top, David Cement. Okay, so I've started you off five extra minutes time because we lost a little bit at the beginning of the show, which we genuinely apologise for. We're not up to that sort of stuff. And just to remind you that Simon Twiggs' funeral will be held at Sutton Crematorium at 2:30 p.m. on the 2nd of May. Then on to the Minworth Social Club at 3:30. Anyone is welcome, and if you could wear blue, it would be a nice touch. That is from Richard Twigg. Okay. Any news from the ladies' camp this week?
No game this week. Obviously, the next game is the Arsenal game on.
Oh, we're sorry, it's coming in. Checkertrade.com. Oh, Checkertrade. Check. I like it. Go on, sorry.
Oh dear. Yeah, so next game Sunday, Sunday afternoon against Arsenal. We go into it on the back of 5 unbeaten, 5 straight clean sheets. And I think there's 4 games left, so
yeah,
hopefully
Sunday big day, of course.
well.
Penalty day Sunday. Get yourselves down there at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yes.
Stuart Bailey says, "Oh no, not the name thing. I'm off to get me taters on the boil."
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Glenn Hoddle. Oh, Stephen Cement. Miscommunication is Mr. Fun running to Wasdales because we're signing someone and don't.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Yeah.
Enkelman bricking it. Yeah. Tarmac McDermott. I like that one. Marcus Painter. Barry Fryup. Weed Hard Hat. I think that should have been Wes. Oh dear. Top quality midfield player next season needed, says Dean.
Yes.
Trevor Fencing. Mendit Nafty. Rufus Brevitt. Tony Cotton Mill. Don't know what that's got to do with building trade. Chris White Batman. Gary Router. Wes Hardat, Glenn Hoddle. Great show, lads, with Tom Ross. Tom's a bonus. Tom's an absolute legend, Leonard, and welcome to you also from Queensland, I believe, isn't it?
Yes,
Queensland. Yeah,
Queensland.
Yeah, checker trade, goalkeeper. Question marks. A few people have been writing question marks about the goalkeeper.
Yeah,
I think Stockdale's perfectly all right as he is. I think he'll be fine.
I agree with what Tom said. He'll be disappointed not to save that one on Saturday.
Sorry, when they come out, I can't help it. Go on.
Yeah, so I was,
disappointed that was Saturday.
I think he will be disappointed not to save that Saturday.
Yeah.
I think he'll probably, might need to do a bit of work over the summer. But nearly every aspect of his game is very good. His distribution is excellent again, and he came for crosses well. But those shots low down, he's got to get better at that because it cost us at Forest and it nearly cost us on Saturday.
Certainly did. Some more of these are coming in then. Tom Mason from Colin Brown, Kevin Damon, Peter Hives, Dave Cowell, Tyler Blackett. I like that one. One. Gary Curley. This is my one of the night so far. I think Stern Johnson's paint. Adam Wilkes, Brick and Doy.
Surprises me how intelligent our supporters are. You don't know.
Jez Hemming, Paul Brush. We've got Graham Harbaugh with Ron Saunders. I never thought this would get this much reaction. I've been trying to think of them on the way here today as well.
Yeah, they're clever.
Jack Memorta from Aaron Grant, Paul Hipkiss, Martin Tyler. Mark Walmwood says Brick and Doy. Maury Minute, Digger Davis. I'm sorry. Oh dear. Lee J. Geary, Andrew Barrowman. Oh, Gregory Beasley, Bob Hatton. Oh, I like that one too. Oh dear. Need a new goalkeeper, they're all saying. Dennis Mortimer. Oh dear. That was from Robert Doyle. Aaron Grant, Ratchet Robinson. Shane Skusick says, "Be listening to you lot in bed soon."
I know, yeah.
James Smith, Les Sealand. Why has nobody produced a full English pie? Said Dave Twine. Yeah.
Could be disgusting.
Dear me. Kevin Kelly. Will Greg's Builders. I love Greg's. This is it. This is the one. This is the one that's done it. This is me winner. Ben Jarman. Drill Merrick. Drill Merrick. Well done, Ben. You're the winner tonight, mate. Support Mr. Fun on Sunday if you can. Give anything to cancer charity from Dennis. Good night, guys. This has been the Tilton Talk Show. Sorry about the little blip we had at the front end of the show, but we've done a few extra minutes. And Sunday, big day. Well, Saturday, big day. Tomorrow, big day. Almost every day this week is a big day. Every day this week is a big day.
When you're down there.
Hopefully, Niall Quinn. I love it. I love the end of the show. Brilliant, brilliant. You lot are absolutely wonderful, marvellous. Mrs. Brown, thanks again. We'll try not to get another blip like that next week, but it was a Windows issue that we had earlier where Windows put an update in and we had to do some changes, blah, blah, blah. Not to bore you. I would like to say all the best for Sunday, but I'm not going to.
No, that's understandable. I wouldn't wish myself the best either.
Fingers crossed I'll be there. I'm so sorry that I thought it was this Sunday. I actually nearly turned up.
No, that would have been worse, yeah.
Tilton Talk Show says goodbye. God bless. Keep right on, guys. Tom's quiz, Colin Brown, will be answered on the Tilton Talk page tomorrow. Yes. Next couple of days. All right, okay. So you need to get yourselves onto the Tilton Talk page to find that out. But we'll have names anyway, and we can track them back through this format. Yeah. All the best then, guys. Keep right on to the end of the road. Been a great one tonight. Thanks ever so much to Tom Ross. Thanks to you, Chris Brown, and to you. Why am I looking in the opposite direction?
Otherwise, yeah.
To you,
Too many Chris's.
Mr. Fun himself, and of course to Chekundoy.
Yeah, thanks,
man of the week. Have a good one, guys.
We love you, what more can we say? We have the